Finally, ladies and gentlemen, finally, we've got a new Mutants release date. And I just want to go over and remind everyone, I guess, of part of the details and what to expect for the movie. It's just incredible that it's finally getting a release date. It's one of those movies that I think Disney, I don't know, maybe they just didn't know what to do with it, because they acquired Fox and then it just went nowhere. And it was kind of going nowhere with Fox anyway, so that seemed to indicate that even Fox didn't quite know what to do with it. But it also came at a time when they were finishing off their X-Men run, sort of, with the the other Dark Phoenix. But it is good to see. All of the trailers for this, though generic and things like that, with the we don't need no, the kind of slowed down music, horror vibes, the stretchy latex walls, all these kind of things. It is very generic, but they were still good trailers. They were still interesting enough to kind of have my attention and go, I'll be intrigued, I'll have a look. That's kind of the vibe that I had for these films. So I'm really glad that it is getting a release date. Really glad that we finally now have it, and we've got a little bit more information on it as well. Before we get into this, there's two big sort of announcements, I guess, that I want to bring to your attention, guys. YouTube is definitely not notifying, well, a large portion of my audience. They're just consistent comments keep coming through. I have actually reached out to a contact at YouTube to say, look, like, what are you doing? Here's like screenshot after screenshot after screenshot. Do something about this. This is ridiculous. But for anyone that does care and wants to help out and actually be notified of the content, just hit subscribe. We'll check that you're subscribed because YouTube unsubs you. And turn the bell notifications on to all, not personalized. But also, please note that regardless of what notifications you've got on, if I release more than 3 videos, sometimes even if I release more than 2, it simply, you just will never even be able to find the video. Like, they don't turn up anywhere in subscription boxes, on home pages. They're just nowhere to be found. So it's really important to note that. I am now plugging my Twitter a bit more at Mr. Reviews. You can find a link to it down below. I'm sharing my videos out there much more than I've ever done before as a result of this. Secondly, I am making my own film. It's linked down below in the description box, along with original merchandise. You can buy posters, t-shirts, hoodies. It's down below, but contribute to the GoFundMe if you want an indie film to be made. Anyway, all that out of the way, let's dive into this. And yes, I know I've got a different hairstyle. It's fine. Yes, I know I look a little bit like Obadiah Stane. I know. But let's get into it. And for anyone that cares, it's because I messed up a self-fade, FYI. And then I just shaved it off. It wasn't intentional. I don't want to look like some kind of off-brand neo-Nazi. It's not what I wanted to do, but I messed up a fade, so I had to just, yeah, anyway. So anyway, the horror-themed superhero movie was delayed because of the coronavirus pandemic. Slightly misleading, The Hollywood Reporter. It was delayed a long time before that. Like a long time. Good God, was this? This has been delayed forever. Like, to say that it's because of the coronavirus is just... What world are you living in? This thing's just not been around for so long. But the New Mutants has finally been given a new release date after it was taken off the spring calendar due to the coronavirus pandemic. The horror-tinged X-Men spin-off will hit theatres August 28th. That's it, it's done. And that's what Disney announced on Wednesday. The studio inherited the film upon acquiring 20th Century Fox. I'm fairly certain 20th Century Fox didn't actually have a release date for this either. So this has been delayed. It's just been languishing and just, bathing around in development hell, I guess. It was not even development hell. It's just not, it's just been sat there. We're going to release it? Nah. How much money you spent on it? Oh, about 100 million. Do you want to earn something from that? No, it's alright. We'll just sit on it. This is like the conversation I believe they must have had. It's just such a weird thing. You've made it. Just release it. Anyway, Disney on Wednesday made several other updates to its release slate, including moving 20th Century Fox and Locksmith's animated films Ron's Gone Wrong from February 26, 2021 to April 23rd, 2021. Barely a release date, but it does seem to indicate that they'll probably release something else on that date. The New Mutants has had a long, winding road to release, prompting intense speculation that the pick would bypass theatres and go straight to streaming. Yeah, we all thought it would go to Hulu. We didn't think it would go to Disney Plus because it's not the platform for it, but Hulu, yeah. The Hollywood Reporter noted last week that that wasn't the case, and then there also seemed to indicate that it would just go to Blu-ray because Amazon had a listing for it as well. Like, it's so weird. The X-Men spin-off from director Josh Boone centers on a group of young mutants trapped in a secret facility, and its cast includes Maisie Williams, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Charlie Heaton. Charlie Heaton's an interesting one because he's had some issues, hasn't he, recently, like getting done for coke and stuff like that. So hardly surprising that this pick has kind of been sat around for a while. But I do think it's interesting as well. If you look at the cast, by the time this thing gets released, how much older will they look? The New Mutants was filmed in 2017 and originally was set to open on April 13th, 2018 before being pushed back 10 months to February 22nd, 2019 and then later moved to August 2nd, 2019 with insiders suggesting reshoots would happen to tweak the film. Reshoots never happened, and I think that's because Disney bought it. I'm laughing just because it's just baffling to me. I just think it's so weird. Reshoots never happened, and the pick remains largely what test audiences saw back in 2017, but with finished visual effects. And in January, a new trailer was released for the New Mutants, announcing a new theatrical date of April 3rd, a date which was then suspended. So this film just can't catch a break, can it? Like, seriously. Oh my god, right. And the trailer was fine. I don't think I did any reaction to it. I can't remember if I did, but the trailer was fine. Like, it looks fine, but it's definitely not going to live up to the hype now, is it? And this is interesting. Like, I wanted to get into little bits and pieces of kind of what it's actually about and things like that, because we've seen some more images now. Like this image here, we saw a little bit more of the sort of limbo zone, and apparently it's going to be centered on magic. Anya Taylor-Joy, it's Rasputin, isn't it? It's Colossus's sister. I'm going to center on her with the smiley men and things like that, and Demon Bear going after Maisie Williams' character. So apparently drawn from Illyana's tortured past, these 7-foot-tall creatures have dangling limbs and hideously grinning faces. Now, interestingly, there were things we didn't want to directly speak about, like sex trafficking. So we found a way to personify them the way a child might remember. So that's what it's about. It's Illyana, sex trafficking, things like that, and referencing all of that. It's interesting. I wonder how much of that will actually come across, though. Because we know in the trailer, she says, I killed X, Y, and Z men for fun or something like that. Maybe it'll come across in the film, but often some of these things are just said, for the sheer sake of it. And by and large, they don't ever actually, come across properly. It's like when Kevin Feige goes on record and says, yeah, we're getting a first trans character, or yeah, openly gay characters. And you watch it and you're like, where was that? Not that I care specifically, but the hype never... These kind of comments on inclusion and things like that, the sort of hype and build around it never normally lives up to what people expect it to be in the movie itself. But again, so we've got Wolfsbane transforming. These are all comments from Boone and magazines and things like that. So Ran fights the bear in the form of her lycanthropic counterpart, Wolfsbane. Maisie Williams wore nail and teeth extensions for the transformation. We also have apparently Lockheed. So there's some rumours and rumblings that the alien dragon, Lockheed, could make some sort of appearance. Method Studios also brought to life the animated character Lockheed, a little pet dragon who spends much of his time perched on Illyana's shoulder. That would be cool. Inside the hospital, Dr. Reyes keeps watch on her mutant captives from a central control room where dozens of old-school cathode ray tube monitors display CCTV feeds from across the entire campus. The cameras have the ability to monitor each mutant's health, including organs, vital signs, and they have overlays showing their body systems. Okay, this is all like the Hollywood Reporter. And then went on to say about how Cecilia Reyes is a sort of villain, along with, I guess, Demon Bear and things like that. Only in the film's final act do the 5 young mutants realise the potential of their powers in a high-stakes battle against not only their captor, Dr. Reyes, but also the giant Demon Bear, whose supernatural presence has been growing throughout the film. That could be some fun elements there, like lurking and stalking and things like that. However, it's just before the bear makes his dramatic entrance, Reyes reveals her own mutant power, the ability to create a smothering force field, which she throws around Danny and her companions. Reyes is distracted from smothering the mutants by a snowstorm building outside. As the storm closes in, the demon bear bursts through a wall and swallows her whole. Oh. Is the Hollywood Reporter just spoiling the film? Fuck's sake. Sorry about that. They've just spoilt the film. So obviously, you know, we see a bit of Magic's armor and stuff like that. It's thought that we're not actually going to get the rest of it, just one side. Which, that's fine, I guess. And then this is the sort of smothering ability, I guess. Or not, I don't know. Anyway, Demon Bear looks cool. I like the look. I like the fact that they just went with Demon Bear. I think that's badass. So there you go. There's an update on this mental film that's just been sat there for ages. Sorry about that spoiler. We're just near the end of the film now. Good times. Great Hollywood Reporter. Thanks so much. Fuck. Anyway, yeah, I'll be interested to see the Smiley Men and things like this. But hey, what do you think? You looking forward to this or not? Let me know down below in the comment section. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. You can stay up to date on the world of pop culture and movie news by hitting the bell notification icon. Thank you so much. I've been Mr. H. Take care.